Sing to the rock, sing to the tree, sing to the firefly lighting up the sky. Sing, sing to the sea.
Hello, I'm Mary Whelan, and this is The Song, a show that features songwriters and their original songs. And today I am very pleased to present from Hull, Massachusetts, Fred Meltzer.
Thanks, Mary. Thanks for having me here. My first song is a song I wrote for all those folks that are trying to find their voice and they're maybe having a tough time. It goes like this. For the longest time I had no nerve to tell you I've never been so paralyzed with fear. You must get this kind of thing daily. I didn't think you'd really want to hear. But I won't forgive myself if I don't say it. It's social suicide, but here I go. I think you're cute. I think you're cute. I really have no business talking like this, but I thought that you might like to know the truth. I went to your Facebook page and saw you, and right away regretted wasted youth. So where have you been hiding all my life? What's it gonna take for you to be my wife? I think you're cute. I think you're cute. Seems the world is filled with washed up souls, and all of us been ground up in the mill. But I know that if I got to taste your cornmeal, I'd never ever ever get my fill. So our next marriage could be based on taste buds. Whatever makes you think it couldn't work, I think you're cute. I think you're cute. I saw your status says it's complicated. All the sirens went off in my head. Stay away, oh boy, you shouldn't risk it. Keep sleeping single in your double bed. But homemade dangling earrings just become you. You told me you're a hippie in your heart, and I think you're cute. I think you're cute. What you gonna do? I think you're cute. All right. Well, my next song is called Smart Water, and it's for all those folks out there that couldn't quite get it right. It goes like this. We had a fairy tale romance, but forever didn't last that long. And now I'm finding out what I did wrong. We thought we solved our issues. You were ready to take my name, but now you're gone forever, and I'm to blame. When you asked for my opinion, I thought you'd really want to know. So I stepped right in to the lion's den. And although you did not mean to, I didn't have the sense to back right off, never mention it again. That smart water won't make me smarter. than anyone else I know. And tonight it's even harder to let you go. Well, I guess I opened my mouth one too many times and stuck my big fat nose where it shouldn't be. And you felt like I went from job to job, still chasing all my dreams. And you just could not stand the instability. Fool, fool, I know what a fool when I went and told a friend I never wanted to get between the two of you. Though I had the best of intentions, didn't matter in the end. And you don't know how much I wish you never knew. You finally told me how I hurt you. I'm so sorry for that. After you told a little white lie to protect my feelings. And I miss so much about you, your humor and your smile, and how just one look from you could drive me through the ceiling. And I'll tell you that I'm sorry, though I know it's way too late. When I saw those taillights drove right down the freeway, I went through all those feelings of anger, guilt, and hey, what I wouldn't give right now for a little leeway. No, no, that smart water won't make me smarter than anyone else I know. And tonight it's even harder to let you go. No, that smart water won't make me smarter than anyone else I know. And tonight it's even harder to let you go. I'll let you go. Thanks, Mary.
Now, in addition to playing guitar, you play keys and drums.
I do.
And you were pretty young when you started playing drums, right?
Yeah, I was. I took a couple of years of drum lessons from the time I was 11, actually. And after 2 years of drum lessons, I remember my mom asked me if I wanted to take this summer clinic with this highly renowned teacher. And I said to her, well, I think I could probably pick up a few pointers after 2 years of lessons. And that's when I learned how to play all the Latin beats, and I learned how to play with a band. I mean, that was a big summer for me. So after that, you know, it was on to bands in college in New York and Atlanta and back here in Massachusetts.
And yeah, and you were in Atlanta, you played in all sorts of venues around there.
Yeah, a lot of clubs and mountain lodges and all sorts of things. We had a blues band that released an original CD. It's called the Fedora Blues Band, and you can see them on YouTube. So we kind of got a little bit past the normal club routine to the point where we could charge admission and give a CD along with the admission and still fill the place, you know. So that was really fun. And we actually had a couple of reunion shows even after I came and relocated back here. I went down 6 months later, and we had a big shindig for that. And it was a lot of fun. We had a great time with that. And so.
Now, you started playing drums at 11, and keys you've been playing since age 15, and guitar since age 20. Now, when did you start writing songs?
When I was playing piano. I remember the first song I ever wrote. My family took Amtrak from Boston to Chicago to go and see my sister, who was there on some theater project that she was doing. And I saw that no matter where we went, my dad's credit card came out. And I wasn't really attuned to how that all happens, you know, at the end of the month when the bill comes, for instance. Yeah. So I wrote a song called Plastic Money, and that was the first one I remember writing. So.
Right. And do you want to tell people a little bit about what your process for writing songs is like? How do you get inspired to write a song?
Well, lately, you know, it comes out of a phrase or something, you know, or just one, you know, gram of an emotion, and sometimes you turn it into something that, you know, ends up being entirely not the original story. Maybe because the original story isn't exciting enough, or you know, not poignant enough. But usually you get a grain of something, and then I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning and it's done at 20 minutes.
Great.
And it is what it is. I don't spend a ton of time editing.
4 o'clock in the morning, is that what you think?
Yeah,
I think that's when you end up writing it, right?
Yeah, because once I think of it, to sleep means you might forget it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not that prolific, but I've been writing for a long time. So there's a few things to draw from.
Yeah, great. Now, you do a lot of different gigs now, all sorts of venues, and one that caught my eye was because I used to run the senior center around the corner from here.
Oh, really?
And I noticed that you go to assisted living facilities for seniors. And what do you do? A lot of cover songs, old cover songs?
Yeah, it's a lot of standards. You know, Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett and Lena Horne and what else do I have? Some Duke Ellington stuff. And then sing-alongs, Pete Seeger, folk songs, that sort of thing. Johnny Cash. You can get, you know, at the moment, I feel like I can play Elvis and early Beatles, and people who enjoy that. And once in a while, I'll sneak an original in there. I'll ask people what they think, you know. And so it's fun, and they're hour-long shows, and they go quickly. And I get 10 times out of it what I put into it. It's really a wonderful thing. I really enjoy it.
And what can be really great about music with older folks is if they have any memory issues, often they will remember the really old songs.
It really helps when you start to sing them.
Music helps them remember.
Yeah, you start to hear them sing along. You know, you start playing I'm Looking Over a Four-Leaf Clover, or If I Had a Hammer, or, you know, and they'll sing along. And sometimes things that they're a little less familiar with, you can get them to sing along to, you know. And it really does help. And several of the places I play are memory care units.
And now when you go to, you're doing solo gigs when you go to
it's just me.
Living. But you do gigs with bands now?
I've got a duo with a singer named Lori Beth, who has her own band that she fronts, a dance pop event type band. And she and I play together with a duo called Vanilla Burritos. It's on Reverb Nation. You can get to Vanilla Burritos. And I've got a cover trio called the South Shore All-Stars, which was formed when I played a solo gig in an emergency for a restaurant. And they said, well, we don't usually hire solo, you know, artists. Do you have a duo or a trio? And I went, yes, I do.
Very quickly you did.
That's right. And so fortunately, I managed to get a bit of a Rolodex of, you know, good players on the South Shore. And I actually have 2 versions of the South Shore All-Stars, depending on who's available. And we play down in Plymouth currently at a pub down there once a month. I've got an original trio, which... I have a lead guitar player and a bass player that play with me. We played a show last weekend in Weymouth that was just wonderful and terrifically received, and it really felt great. And those guys, I feel like they're talent on loan. You know, we kind of trade out. I'll tell them, I'll play on your project, whatever you want, if I can have you for these 2 months to learn these songs and play the gigs. And it seems to work, you know. And then I'm playing drums for a Jimi Hendrix tribute called Jimmy Forever. And I play keyboards for a Stevie Nicks tribute, which is a lot of the same people that are involved in it, and they needed a keyboard player. And since the tributes are booked together, I figured I'd be there anyway. So I sucked it up, and I learned 18 Stevie Nicks songs.
That's great. Okay, well, why don't you do another song, and we'll talk a little more.
All right. Well, hopefully summer's coming, and I live near Nantasket Beach, and so I wrote a song about this girl who's on the beach, who you may know. Well, she's making such a racket as she's walking down the street. She loves to click and clack it in front of every boy she meets. She ain't my baby. She thinks she ain't got nothing to lose. But no one's paying attention. She got them flip-flop floozy blues. Now she's got tan lines on her instep and halfway up her legs from wearing them strappy sandals and drinking from the keg. Yeah, she painted her toenails real nice in some deep dark red hues. But no one's paying attention. She got them flip-flop floozy blues. Well, you would think that I could turn away or at least look down at my shoes, but I guess she's got the power. And I got them flip-flop floozy blues. Now I see her every day out there, and I know she'll never be mine. And one day I'll get over it. Yeah, one day I'll be fine. But till then, you know she'll always light my fuse. You see, I'm wrapped around that twirling hair. I got them flip-flop floozy blues. That's a fun one.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about the songs you have for your upcoming CD? You're working on
Well,
a CD?
I'm hoping that the first two that I played earlier, Smart Water and I Think You're Cute, which incidentally was well received at the senior facilities. I'm hoping that they're going to be on the CD, and I may take some older ones. The one that I'm going to play next is called Old Days, and I'm thinking that it got fleshed out a little bit when I got to play it with the trio. I was on a radio show in Marshfield a couple weeks ago, and we kind of decided we would do it, and Lori Beth, the girl that sings with me, was there for a different reason, and so she sang backing vocals, and my lead guitar player from my original trio, learned it just because he's great at doing things like that, and so it became part of the set, which I didn't really expect, but that one may make it on there as well. Initially, when I wrote it, which was probably 25 years ago, it was a lot of synthesizers and riffs and things like this, and so it was kind of mechanized in 16th note, like an 80s song. And so that worked at the time, but you can't really reproduce it in an acoustic setting, so we really kind of had to retool it. And so let me know if you like it.
Okay. Now, I want to make sure people know where they can find out more about you. You do have a website.
Yep, I've got two websites, actually. One has all of the gig schedule throughout the rest of the year and all of the original music on it, and that's music.fredmeltzer.com. And then the other is where you go if you want to hire me, and that is fredmeltzermusic.com.
Okay.
And they both look very different. The one is a Reverb Nation hosted site, and the other is one that I developed on my own. And so the Fred Meltzer Music has a page for all the different projects, like we're telling you, the Vanilla Burritos and the South Shore All-Stars and all that. So whatever format that you want to go with. We also have an offering. If anybody out there is looking to do a benefit where they would like a comedy show that has sort of a late night band aspect to it. I've teamed up with a comedian who is the food and beverage director at the Nantasket Beach Resort. His name is Steve Kiley. And Steve is terrific. He plays casinos all over New England. And so he hosts the show, and he hires the talent for the comedy. And I have like a late night show band. And so there's interaction between myself and Steve, and we open up with some of the silly originals that I play. And play in between as the comedians are going up and back and forth. And it's sort of like being at the Tonight Show. And cool. So it's a neat experience. It's not exclusively comedy. It's not exclusively music. So if you're interested in that, you can find more info on that at fredmeltzermusic.com as well.
Great. Well, I'm so glad you could come, and maybe you can close out with a couple more songs.
Wonderful. I'd love to. Thanks. This song is for all those folks out there who may have a parent who likes to tell them how good they have it, because back in their day, they had it tough. It's called Old Days, and it goes like this. Oh, Daddy, let me sit down on your knee. Tell me about the days when you were as old as me. Oh, Daddy, tell me about you as a kid. Let me in on all the things you did. So I'd sit there for hours at a time, and I'd listen. Let me tell you, this is what I'd hear time and again. We used to walk 6 miles through the snow on our way to school, but we'd never complain. We'd drag our feet uphill both ways. Let me tell you about the old days. He said, Sonny, you know when I was a boy, I'd take the saw and wood and make myself my own toys. There was no time for amusements and rides. When we felt nature call, we used the closet outside. So I'd sit there for hours at a time, and I'd listen. Let me tell you, this is what I'd hear time and again. We used to walk 6 miles through the snow on our way to school, but we'd never complain. We'd drag our feet uphill both ways. Let me tell you about the old days. You kids today with your daily bread, come home at night and crawl into bed. You'd never know what it was like for me in the old days. No, no. So I'd sit there for hours at a time, and I'd listen. Let me tell you, this is what I'd hear time and again. We used to walk 6 miles through the snow on our way to school, but we'd never complain. We'd drag our feet uphill both ways. Let me tell you about the old days. We'd walk 6 miles through the snow on our way to school, but we'd never complain. We'd drag our feet uphill both ways. Let me tell you about the old days. All right, well, that was Old Days. And I'm going to finish up with a song that's for all you young ladies out there who can't seem to put your iPhones down. It goes like this. I saw Miley and Kim and Tila Tequila do it. How can it be so bad? I just put on a little top and take a pic from above. when I'm feeling a little sad. Like when I went to Abercrombie yesterday. I saw the cutest little tank, and before I ever got in line to pay, I just had to see what you think. So I took a selfie in the girls' room, because I care about me. I'm gonna post it on my profile for all the world to see. I took a selfie in the girls' room. I made a duck face too, whoa, whoa. I took a selfie in the girls' room. I did it all for you. How many likes can I get for this one? If I pose just like so, lean in, look up, a little extra makeup. What do you think I just had to know? Well, you know I love all the attention. It should be plain to see why are Miley and Kim getting so famous when we all know it should be me. So I took a selfie in the girls' room, because I care about now. I'm gonna post it on my profile. He said I look like a cow, oh no. I took a selfie in the girls' room. I guess it's all of my fault. So be careful what you ask for. It's like a frontal assault. I sat across from a counselor late last spring. I had to swallow my pride when she turned to me and said, girl, what were you thinking? Now we can't let you inside. 'Cause I took a selfie in the girls' room, because I care about now. I'm gonna post it on my profile. He said I look like a cow, oh no. Woo! Took a selfie in the girls' room. I guess it's all of my fault. So be careful what you ask for. It's like a frontal assault. Miley and Kim and Tila Tequila do it. How can it be so bad?